Hi, I'm Lou with another episode of My Car Story, and today we're in Iola, Wisconsin. Great car show. Check out the description of the video. You can see the website for that. And I've got Steve Anderson with me, and this is actually your father, Norman's car.
Correct.
But what year, make, and model is this one?
It's a 1958 Buick Century.
1958 Buick Century, and you're gonna wanna see this one. So step right alongside me. The color on this one is spray green. And the front of that car looks, well, mean. Looks like it's got teeth and a little bit of a bulldog look to it, like it's coming right at you. But you can't mistake its beauty today. Now, Steve, I don't know if you know this, but all of these little bullet points, we'll call them, or jewels, whichever way you'd like to look at those, I think those are all individually placed in there. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're all like singly screwed in there. This is actually some venting for that. And we've got these bullseye fender pieces here that you can see. The double headlights, your parking light, this massive bumper, and without exaggeration, the word Buick wonderfully scripted in there. So now, how long have you and your family, your father's had this car?
Since 2018, so about 5 years.
5 years now. I want to show the side of this car, and I'm going to step back to show all of this and get it in. That's just dazzling. Have you driven this car much?
No.
When you drove it today, what was the reaction?
You know, it kind of floats. You can tell it's a heavy car, but it's very comfortable, and it floats, and it's got plenty of power. It's a joy to drive.
Yeah, it's got those big eyebrows sticking out like that. And I want to come down here. This is such an amazing quarter panel that will start far and then get in tight. It's got this rocket ship-like look to it. That chrome slathers all over the side of it. The word Century. And then although I'm going to show you this back here, we'll actually turn it around for you in a second after we get back to the hood. But notice the very thin pillars for such a big, heavy car. The back glass, it's got a little green tint to it. Some green tint up here on the wraparound windshield. And now watch this, Steve, can you open the hood for me? Because notice this right here, how the hood has this piece that looks like that. Really a very special car. Now you might be looking at this, and I'm not going to say something. This is a Survivor.
Yes.
So how did Norman get this Survivor?
A good friend of his for years and
Clarence.
years. Yeah, it was in his family, and it had been passed through his family through couple of generations, as well as through some different family members.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away in 2017, and my dad spoke with the family and said if no one in the family would like the car, I would be interested in buying it.
Got it.
And that's how he came upon it.
Wow. All right, well, let's fire it up. And I think there might be, I'm trying to find the GM tag. Is it in the door right there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's in the door. It's Buick there. I wanted to say there was some kind of a fender tag or something, but let's fire it up. I'll see if I can find that. I don't see it on the wall. Wow, is that quiet? This is a 364 cubic inch, I understand. Survivor. Listen to that. I'm just reminding myself that it's a Survivor. Let's step on the brakes for a moment, would you please? There's our brakes. Here's our exhaust. Go ahead, give it a, just let it idle for a second. You can hear that. Go ahead, give it a rev. That sounds great. All right, we'll turn this one around for you. So just before we turn it around, I am going to show you. There's your body tag. And also, I noticed this big canister down here. Maybe someone can explain what that big canister is. I'd be interested and curious to see what that's about. So I shared with you we'd turn it around, and as you can see, the great tail fins on this one. Everything on this Buick is just big, big bumper, big tail lights. I mean, just massive. This is obviously, you know, no question, big word fuel. What goes in there? The word Century. Stevens, where it came from. And to think that this is a Survivor. Just, let me just go back one more step, just showing people that view right there. Wow. All right, let's open the trunk. We got some trunk and treats. Naturally, Norman's friend Clarence would keep things like this when he bought it new. The big, bold, buoyant, the airborne B58 Buick. Check that out. The first big car that's light on its feet. What a great piece. The original owner's guide, the airborne B58 Buick, showing that big toothy grill. And notice it's got the airplane helping with that script. So here's, it looks and feels like flight on wheels. The Century, which is what we're in here, the Super, the Special, the Estate Wagon, the Limited, and the Roadmaster. It kind of gives you locations that they're at. Just great. I'm being very careful for obvious reasons, because these are the original brochures. I'm not going to take tons of time on the brochure, but there's the Limited. We've got, with the man in the top hat, the Limited again, the Limited convertible. We've got the Roadmaster, the Roadmaster 75, the Super for 58, the four-door. I had one in the middle. There it is. And the Century, which is where we're at right here. Even in that color. By the way, they call it the Riviera Model 66R. .300 horsepower for the four-door sedan. Wow. The Estate Wagons. The Special. The Special convertible. The great photography in these books. The Dynaflow transmission. Your engine. The Quadrajet. Talking about its ride. Air conditioning. We'll see this safety ribbon here in a second. And some of the standard equipment on each one of them. That's some good trunk and treats right there. When better automobiles are built, Buick will build them. That's just grand. Okay. Stephen, we'll close that. May I open it?
Sure.
Thank you. While I'm showing that too, go ahead, close that. Nice. I just want to show the sun just came out on it. That's great. May I open it?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, does Norman drive this often, or?
He actually does. He uses this quite a bit. You know, being 95, he's retired, so he doesn't go on a lot of trips, but he drives it when the weather's nice.
So this is kind of a showpiece car.
Mm-hmm.
And he got you into being a car guy. What was your first car?
Yeah, my first car was a 1966 Mustang.
And you still have it.
I do.
The family that keeps cars for a long time. Wow. That's great. We're going to show that speedometer in a second. Brighter. Notice your power windows. Brake release. This one's got an interesting way that it starts. We'll show you that in a second. It actually starts off the gas pedal. Your airplane like gauge is there. The Sonomatic. And not only the clock. Sorry, I gotta move over a bit. Not only the clock, but notice there's instructions on it. Pretty gosh darn cool. All right, well, the only thing that's left is time for us to take it for a ride.
Sounds good. I got the keys.
Let's go. So Steve and I are getting ready to take a ride in the 58 Buick Century, and I just want to show you something. Number one, tell me about these mats.
Well, apparently it's really hard to get these mats. Somebody offered my dad $1,000 for the floor mats. We were fortunate today. We took the carpeting off that usually sits on top of them, so when we're riding, we're not having to look at the ugly rug. But
got it. Yeah, today this is my car story. We're doing it upright. Right. Yeah. Speaking of doing it upright, let me show you how this one starts. So let me show your foot. Go ahead. Ignition on. Just like that. That's how we fire it up. All right, let's take our ride. Cool. So we just wanted to show you a little of Iola here. How beautiful it is. And we'll get on that straightaway. I got the chance to chat with Norman, and it was really fun to see his enthusiasm with the cars. And I can see why he's first generation of your business, and you're third generation. And he's got, what was the car he had, a Graham?
He has a Graham, yeah, 1931 Graham.
1931 Graham. Also original.
Correct.
Of course. Yep. But, so let's just talk about this one though. Look at the hood, the feel, the bullseyes on the fenders, and the ride. How does this one feel when you're driving it?
Well, it's a lot different than my Mustang. It just kind of floats along and, you know, is really smooth.
Just a bit different than the Mustang.
I fit better in this car too.
Oh, that's great. This car, everybody fits better in this car. Yeah.
A lot of people fit in this car.
A lot of people all at the same time fit better in this car. This is a great car. I love the color. And with that green color, let me just show the road here. Look at this. Welcome to Wisconsin. This video should be on their vacation site. Right here. Your 58 Buick Century. Just great. Just great. Well, I'm having a blast. I've really enjoyed meeting your family, and just a wonderful time out here, literally in the country. And then we've got this car show where all of a sudden they all come together. I don't know how many cars are there, but there's a lot. But it's great to get the chance to feature a few, and it was really a treat to, when I saw you and I flagged you down. Any other thoughts when you're driving this car? What's the reaction from people?
Well, everybody likes it, and it's not so old that people have forgotten about them. A lot of people come up and say, oh, I remember seeing those when they were new, and you know, you get older cars and people don't know what you're driving around. This catches more eyes now than the old cars do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Stephen, thanks for being a fun driver with me today, and thanks for having Norman allow us to take his car out. Norman, thank you for letting us take your car out, and I thank you so much for being on My Car Story.
Thank you very much.
So those of you who are with us, I told you too that I'd show you that ribbon speedometer. There it is. Slow it down just a bit. We'll show them how it goes back down too. There we go. And notice they just kind of fade off, like so. You know, the problem, Stephen, with me with that would be it'd be like a video game. I'd want to see how high I could go. I don't think that would be good for me.
See what happens when it hits 120, right?
Exactly. Does it change color? Thanks, guys.